It's official, the New York Knicks just made the decision that fans have been waiting to hear an answer on, as team president Leon Rose has fired Tom Thibodeau from his role as the New York Knicks head coach, and there are already candidates sticking out, and it is very obvious what Leon Rose and the New York Knicks have elected to do. And now we are just going to wait and see as the Knicks quickly do a head coaching search before they announce the next head coach. If you see me looking at my phone at all, it is because I'm ready to give you guys real-time updates in the middle of this video. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. Well, it happened. Tom Thibodeau got fired, and I literally said he was going to get fired yesterday. I said it was an 80% chance. So if you don't believe me yet that I know what is happening with this team, whatever, but make sure to subscribe, man, because I told everyone yesterday that there was an 80% chance Tibbs was gone by this week. It didn't even take that much time. Tom Thibodeau, the head coach of the New York Knicks for the last 5 years, leading the Knicks to the playoffs 4 times, twice getting bounced in the second round, once getting bounced in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the first time losing to the Atlanta Hawks in 5 games in the first round, has now been fired from his job as the New York Knicks head coach. You heard me correctly. He didn't get promoted to the front office like I said he was going to. He got fired from the Knicks head coaching job. Leon Rose just fired his friend, and this is absolutely shocking. Now, Shams Charania was the first to reveal this, saying the New York Knicks are relieving Tom Thibodeau of his duties as the head coach. Thibodeau led the Knicks to their first East Finals in 25 years, made 4 playoff appearances in 5 years, and led the Knicks to consecutive 50-win seasons for the first time since the 1990s. The Knicks are singularly focused on their pursuit of a championship and believe a new voice will serve as the focus for the organization's next step, sources said. After 5 seasons with the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau is out as the head coach of the team. So this is absolutely shocking. And look, there's been a lot going on, and there's so much just flying off the news shelves right now. Again, some of the stuff I'm going to end up reading off my phone. For instance, Steve Popper saying, heard from a source before the Boston series that Thibodeau believed he needed to win that series to stay, and it turned out not to be enough. Another source indicated that when the Knicks were up 2-1 in the Boston series, there was still talk of a change. So even though there were reports that Leon backed Tibbs, it's because Leon was friends with him. Brunson backed Tibbs very strongly, but there's a world that Brunson said the whole, are you serious? Is that a serious question? Is Tibbs the right guy? Because he didn't want to kick Tibbs when he was down. This is not something that Brunson got shocked by of this. This is definitely something that has been going on. And I mean, look, it's very, very simple. Now, there's a lot shocking that's going on with this because no one was really expecting this after a bunch of the news. However, it was mentioned by Begley that organizations singularly focused on winning the title, they feel like a new voice is needed. Team president Leon Rose made the decision with the support of owner James Dolan. Let me explain what that means. When we saw the report from Fred Katz and James Edwards that Tibbs has the support of Leon and Brunson, that I'm not saying they were wrong. They weren't wrong. They know what's going on with the Knicks. However, it wasn't exactly all that. And Dolan had the final call. This was not Dolan's call, though. This was Leon's call. There was always this thought in Leon's head that Tibbs was not the right guy for the team, so Leon decided to move on from him, and Dolan allowed that move despite the fact that they just signed Tibbs to an extension last offseason, meaning Dolan's going to have to eat a contract, just pay Tibbs to not be the head coach for the next few years. 3 more years after this, Tom Thibodeau is going to get paid to be the Knicks head coach while sitting at home watching games or doing whatever the hell Tom Thibodeau is going to be doing. But I'll tell you what he's not doing. He's not going to be coaching the New York Knicks. That's for sure. Now, it was mentioned quickly after this. Josh Hart said he's forever grateful and thanked Tibbs for this. But also, there seemed to be some philosophical differences between Tibbs and the whole team. Now, also New York Basketball mentioned that before Tibbs, there was no culture. And the Knicks had a 309 win percentage in 6 years. The worst in the NBA, didn't make the playoffs for 7 years. And under Tibbs, they built a culture out of 565 win percentage in 5 years, 8th in the NBA, and went 4-5 in the playoffs, made the Eastern Conference in 2025. New York Basketball is right to say thank you to Tibbs. I think all Knicks fans should thank Tibbs for the time that's going on. But look, there is a real reason why this happened. We are going to do more coverage on this, but I'm also going to say, guys, there's a real reason why. Just wait till I make it later because this could go fast. I mean, this head coaching search, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not expecting this to be long. This is going to be, it's over. We're going to know who the Knicks' next head coach is, I would bet, in a week from today. I would throw the balance on it. I truly don't think this is going to take long. They already know who they're interviewing. They already know who they want. They have their first choice and their second choice locked up. It's very clear. It's why this happened out of sort of left field in a way, because there's one man who the New York Knicks have wanted for a very long time to be their head coach. A man who very much was the Knicks assistant coach to Tibbs for years. He was the associate head coach, meaning the assistant coach of the team. You probably know who we're talking about right now. Mr. Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant is who the Knicks have wanted. Now, Tibbs had a 24-23 record with the Knicks in his coaching career. And for most of those years, Johnny Bryant was there. Bryant came with Tibbs over to the New York Knicks and was an important part of this team. The Knicks brought him in partially because he's close to Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks were trying to get Donovan Mitchell onto the team. That obviously didn't end up happening. The Knicks ended up keeping Bryant for years, who they loved. And then he became the associate head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, leaving the Knicks so he could go be teamed up back with Donovan Mitchell. But now he's getting head coaching interest, and that has changed everything about this whole situation at hand. Now, as Begley said, if I'm betting, he's back. But I can tell you for sure it hasn't been decided, at least to my knowledge yet. Obvious name out there, if they did move, is Jay Wright, Mike Malone, but kind of similar qualities to Tibbs. Others, but no slam dunk, for instance, of a hire. However, that's changing. That's changing very fast. Now, yes, there are guys, and we'll get back to Johnny Bryant in 1 second. There are guys, Mike Malone and Jay Wright, both options here. Jay Wright is obviously very close with a bunch of the guys, considering he coached one of them, including the NBA superstar he's sitting next to in this photo, and Jalen Brunson. But Jay Wright's been retired from basketball for a few years. I actually don't think he's going to be the head coach of the Knicks whatsoever. I don't believe in this one. I think he's someone who the Knicks are interested in, and I think he would have some interest, but I don't think he's their first choice because he's been removed from basketball for a few years. That is a big swing to take. Now, Mike Malone, very, very similar to Tibbs, except he's the offensive version. I've said Tibbs is not a bad coach. He's the wrong coach because the Knicks are an offensively minded, or they should be an offensively minded team with individual good defensive players, but they're playing like a defensively minded team with individually good offensive players. The whole starting five could play offense. The whole starting five can't play defense. Mike Malone does the same thing as Tibbs, except he's a phenomenal offensive coach. He also won a championship with Karl-Anthony Towns, with Nikola Jokic as the center. Obviously, Jokic is much better than Towns. I'm not arguing that, but what I'm saying is that he knows how to win without a true rim protector on the floor. Tom Thibodeau does not. That is why Mike Malone is second, but he's not first. That's Johnny Bryant, and that is a fact. This is why this came out of nowhere yesterday with all this noise and rumors around the Knicks. Because, as Shams mentioned, the Phoenix Suns have narrowed their head coaching search to two finalists from the Cleveland Cavaliers, associate coach Johnny Bryant and assistant Jordan Knott. Now, both will meet with the Suns owner, Matt Ishbia, in Michigan ahead of the hiring that could be as soon as late this week. The Knicks saw that and got scared, because they always believed Johnny Bryant was going to be the head coach after Tibbs. And they just saw the fact that the Suns, they are going to hire Johnny Bryant. Ott's not going to win it over Bryant. But now, Bryant gets his pick of the litter. The Knicks have I'm just going to tell you this right now, and this isn't me knowing this for a fact. The Knicks have already begun to contact Johnny Bryant, if he's not already contacted about them, saying, hey, do not pick it up the phone. Do not sign. Do not sign with the Phoenix Suns. We want to interview you. You've already coached here. You know Jalen Brunson. You know this team. We made the conference finals. They missed the playoffs and are about to trade Kevin Durant. They're a dumpster fire. Why would you go there when you could come here, get your first ever head coaching job in New York? The Knicks, I'm telling you, they would love to have a first-time head coach like Johnny Bryant, who the players absolutely adore, who is a great offensive head coach, or will be a great offensive head coach, is a great offensive coach, just spent a year learning from Kenny Atkinson, knows how Tibbs operates as well, so he can create a familiarity between himself and Tibbs that the players will feel comfortable with, knowing that Bryant is not going to flip their world upside down the way that some guys like Mike Malone might sort of do. Leon Rose understands this is a team that doesn't need to be flipped on its axis. It's just a team that needed a new voice. And that is why Johnny Bryant is going to be the head coach of the New York Knicks in a couple days. Guarantee it. I guarantee it's Johnny Bryant. Unless he signs with Phoenix because the Knicks were too last minute for him or something like that happens. And then throw the balance on Mike Malone. If neither of those guys get hired, wild cards are Chris Quinn, Dan Hurley, and then also Jay Wright, because it's evidently possible that the Knicks just go, screw it, Nova Knicks, keep it going. And then they also, for the record, would try to go get Donte DiVincenzo again, which they can because Donte DiVincenzo literally said that it was easier to play on the Knicks than on the Timberwolves in a press conference where he was wearing a Timberwolves jersey. So if you don't think that Devo would try to force his way back to New York, he absolutely would. And that's the argument for Jay Wright as well. But who do you guys want to see become the head coach of the Knicks? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of rumors surrounding this. This is probably what the next couple of videos are going to be about. I do have some videos saved, so I will throw some of those out there as well too. One of them might not make... No, one of them still makes sense. It's more about someone who the Knicks are linked to. But we do have a lot of videos saved that are going to come out. We also are going to cover this extensively. And again, man, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I told you guys yesterday Tibbs was getting fired. I told you he was getting fired this week. I said it. You got to believe me, man. I called the Towns trade too, man. I know my things. So please subscribe to the channel. It does help us out a ton, though, in all seriousness. Guys, thank you so much for the constant support. We are obviously going to cover this a bunch, so make sure to turn on those post notifications as well so you can be updated. As I said, whenever news drops within the next 30 minutes, Knicks Digest will have a video out on it, as long as it's regarding the Knicks or could impact the Knicks at all. Guys, have a great day. This is a weird one. Go Knicks!